Hello, I'm Mary Ruberry from Revelate, and I'm so delighted to speak with you today about how to manifest new earth. So, we're not going to have hopefully too much fuzzy stuff, but very practical insights into how each of us can actively birth this new age on this planet. So when I was a very, very small child, there was a band called The Fifth Dimension, and they had a mega hit called uh, The Dawning. This is the dawning of the age of Aquarius. The actual name was something like Let the Sunshine In. But that sentence, this is the dawning of the age of Aquarius, really resonated with me. And that was the first time in this lifetime I consciously heard that term of it's a new age. There will be a change in age. And as you know, I just thought it was a fascinating image, and I really always held to that. And then as I built my spiritual practice greater and greater, I learned more about the ages and how there are age changes. They go back through the zodiac. So it's Taurus, then Aries, then Pisces, and then Aquarius. So you can see some of the evidence in history where, Jesus, the symbol of when Jesus's age in Christianity is the fish, which is of the Piscean age. And so with the age change, there are people who are volunteers who help out with each age change, basically anchor that time. And I knew that I was a volunteer, but I didn't know what that meant or what would be required of me in my participation. And also, when we talk about age changes, this is not just another age change. This is the great and glorious golden age where the world will be overcome with peace and prosperity and harmony. So, very different from the age in which we grew up. So, that's going to be a big change. How is this going to happen? So, I was imagining, okay, here comes the great golden age. Oh, I'm getting excited. What's it going to be like? Will the sun come up one day and it will just look really different, maybe very golden, and the whole day will be gold. There'll be a great golden chariot driven by gods and goddesses across the sky, and there'll be jubilation, and it will just be amazing and spectacular. Well, it's looking quite different from that crazy image, because the great golden age is each of us. You and me are the golden age. We are the new age. We are the age change. And so you might say, but I'm just one person. How can I change the age? Well, that's what we're going to talk about right now. So a few basics. Each of us were begat by source. So source energy is within each of us. And so that same energy flows through all that you see, all that you don't see, anything you can and cannot imagine comes from source. And so when we look at one another, we say, okay, that person looks different from me. Well, physically, they may look different, but they have that same source energy within them. And so each of us have chosen to come here now during this age change to be a leader at this time, which is very much needed. And we are that source energy. You might call it God, goddess. I love the way Native Americans use the term, the spirit that moves through all things. I think that's quite beautiful and appropriate. And so as that energy moves through us, we have this physical body that we are experiencing and expressing divinity through. So we're gathering experiences, we are expressing our divinity, and that energy is emitting out of us at all times. So whatever we're experiencing, whatever we're thinking is going out from us, is emitting out into the air. So a lot of people use the term collective, the collective, or also collective unconscious. Some people have also used the terms of a 3D net or web, and this connects everything. Everything that was created is part of this interconnected web of life. And when we emit, we send this energy of what we're feeling, what we're thinking through that web, and others are sharing in with that energy. So we're creating this collective, or you might say a collection of energy. What are we creating? So there's a wonderful term that says where focus goes, energy grows. And so that's what we're trying to focus on right now, or think about. What kind of energy am I making right now? When it seems whenever I talk about the great golden age, or that the new age is here, people always come back with, oh, there are so many terrible things happening in the world. The news is so awful. There's war, there's suffering, there's famine. People are so cruel to one another. And yes, that's true. Those things are happening. But is that where you want your energy to go? Is that what you want to grow in the world? And so we each have that choice each moment. What do we want to grow? It's like a seed. We plant that seed in the earth and we say, I want to grow me. I want to grow the great golden age. And so we have that intention, we plant that seed. But if we keep it in a darkened box, it's not going to grow. So just as with any seed, we need to plant, we need to treat our seeds with healthy soil, with sunlight, with appropriate rain to make that grow. And that's what we're here to do, to focus on how to grow ourselves as love. Be love each moment, not in the future. Things aren't going to get better ever. We're talking right now in this moment where we are at this time. So I would hope to encourage you to recognize your role and your responsibility. So it might take a bit of courage from your perspective to be who you are, to be your authentic self, to be an active member of birthing this new age. And so the main thing to focus is to be love. So right now, in every moment, you want to be love. So everyone wants to be happy. Well, love is happiness. Happiness is love. And there's a misnomer, misunderstanding in American culture. So I'm American. I view it from this way. Valentine's Day is coming up and there's all this decoration and people are spending money and trying to make a lot of money from Valentine's Day, which is supposed to be celebrating love. And when we talk about love in our culture, what I get is that love is somewhere outside there. It's somewhere out in the ether around me, and I want to get some of it. I want someone to love me. I want to go out and I want to find love and I want to get love. And that's a really true misunderstanding of love. For love is within each of us. We don't find love, just as peace is within each of us. You don't find peace. You cannot give another person peace. You cannot give another person love if you do not have love. And this is how we build who we are. This is how we build happiness. This is how we build the life we want to live. This is how we build the future. And this new great golden age is through love in each moment. Now, you might think that I'm oversimplifying this. Oh, all I have to do is love and the new age is coming in. Wow, I don't know. Is it really that easy? Well, yes, but remember that we're not in this, each of us alone. We do have a huge network of support. There's help coming to Earth from all sides, celestial beings, great and glorious beings. When we're sleeping, we're meeting with councils, we're working on bringing in new Earth. And also, when you are in your place of love, you are going to make choices that fit with love. So am I going to make choices of, I want to dominate someone. I want to make somebody feel bad. I want someone to be hungry when I have food. No, because love does not want any of those things, right? You want to be in harmony with love. That's the way to live. And so once we are in that place of love, the choices we make are in harmony with that love that is us. And so the choices we make, our ethical discipline that we follows that path of love. And so we want the best for all. We want equitability. We want peace in the world. We want harmony. And so those changes will come about naturally through that fostering of love. So if you look back through history, there was a time when slavery was legal, when it was legal to own another human. And then at some point, people said, this is wrong. We should not do this. This is not morally right. This is not acceptable. And so the laws were changed. Of course, there is still racism. I am not trying to erase anything. This is still a struggle in many cultures, such as ours in America. So also you can see other examples. So at one time, 8, 9, 10-year-old kids were working in factories, and people said, this is wrong. I don't agree with this. This is wrong. We need to change the laws. And so laws were enacted that children under a certain age could not work. And you can see many, many examples of this throughout history. And we have to believe that we can go further and take these principles that we believe in through this enlightened age, through this time of enlightenment, and enact laws that are in harmony with those beliefs. So as I've mentioned, next week we're going to talk about the mind. So the mind, working with the heart, is really where all of the action takes place. This is who we are. This is our consciousness. This is what we're creating, our thought patterns, etc. So we're going to talk about that next week and get into a lot of detail with that. And we're also going to talk about changing patterns, looping thoughts, positive versus critical, and all of that. A lot of that has to do with how we look at others. So something in the age we've been raised is we look at others as their other. That's not me. That's another person. And so I can do something against them because it's not me. And we're not recognizing these ultimate and higher truths that is me. That is me. That person's me. That tree is me. It's all me. We're all in this together. We're all in this planet together. And so what kind of world do you want to create is really the question to ask yourself. As we incessantly vibrate, do you want to create love and joy and delight and wonder, or do you want to create fear and jealousy and powerlessness and lack? We have that choice. We have the power. It is only a matter of using the power and our vision that we hold on to and following that within us. And at the end, I'm going to go into how to start each day, setting that path and that pattern for yourself, because I think the way you start each day is such an important part of your life, of who you are, of who you're going to be that day. And so let's talk a little bit about what are the qualities of the New Age. So a couple of years ago, I gave a webinar that focused on the New Age. And if any of you, if this is repetitious, sorry, but I think it's important to just talk about what are these qualities? What's going to be different in this New Age compared to the age we have, the age that we're just coming out of now. So of course, one of the big features is peace and harmony. We don't want war. What good does war do anyone? Okay, so there's maybe a few guys who are making a lot of money for them and their families by selling weapons and taking over lands. But now with our new sensibilities, with our enlightened senses, we can see that war doesn't help anyone, that we don't want war, that peace and harmony is the world that we want to live in. That's the society we want to pass on to generations to come. Also, along that line is equitability. And so instead of haves and have-nots, there will be we will recognize the truth of our interconnectedness. So we will care for one another. And this is not only people, but everything. So we don't want to destroy anything. Basically hearkening back to the Lemurian age, when everything was peaceful and in harmony and people lived in a way that caused no destruction whatsoever. And so when you talk about equitability, recently somebody bought Twitter for a huge amount of money. And people were mentioning that if that guy had used that money, he could have solved hunger in the world. And I thought, oh my gosh, so it wouldn't take that much to have food for everyone on the planet. So there would be no more hunger. It's amazing. Even in America, we tend to think, oh, we're such an abundant country. And yet here there are people who lack sufficient food, who lack simple resources, who may not have running water, who may not have clean water, access to clean water, access to nutritious food. These are basics, and we need to make sure in this new age that all people have sufficient food, that there's no scarcity, because abundance is unlimited. And we need to make sure that our planet is run on an equitable term, that all people. So when we look at the last age, especially, we can see how domination, people would come and say, this is my country, this land is mine now. And these people who are living here, I'm going to control them. And so that's a very ugly part of our history. And it doesn't really help us moving forward. It's something I really believe we need to wash away, not the memory of it and not the history of it, but the practices of it. We need to overcome that. And we need to enact new practices that are sensible, that work for everyone, because we're all related, we're all one, we're all interconnected. And when one does better, we all do better. And food. So food and food production. We want to make sure in the new age that food production does not harm the planet. So we're not going to use poison to grow food. That is just makes no sense at all. Why use poison on your food? Why grow food that is not infused with love and caring and health? Because food is part of our health. And so part of food is also, how do we transport food? We want to transport food in such a way that, again, does not harm the planet. We want to have locally grown food. We want to have farmers that care about what they're doing and want to provide healthy food for their community and beyond. And so transportation also needs to be renovated and upgraded. So I saw a vision. I guess all of you know I'm very psychic. If you look at my blueprint, I'm mega psychic. I'm not sure if that helps me, but hopefully it does. And hopefully it really helps you. And so I was sitting in, interestingly, at my auto mechanics, waiting for my car to be finished. And I looked out the window and there's this big truck rattling down the road. And I had this vision of this hovercraft, and it was coming, and all the roads had been pulled up. There were no more roads. The crafts hovered over the planet. They still followed the pathways of the roads. And I guess there were signals, cross signals to regulate the traffic and such. But there were no more pavements to suffocate Mother Gaia. And along that line of what we can put on planet Earth to be honor the nature of the planet, I was thinking a short while ago, a few months ago, about talking, going in outer space and talking to beings and planets and such. And I thought, well, what about talking to Mother Gaia? I wonder what that would be like to directly talk to her. And so I did. And it was, a little sad, but very insightful. And she didn't really talk in words, but she showed me images, and I got feelings. And part of the image was how we build a house. And so she showed me a house with concrete, this big concrete, we pour the concrete in, and then we put in an asphalt driveway, and that all suffocates the planet. She can't breathe through that, and it's not in harmony with the planet. And I was imagining, so if you put a big, asphalt plaque on yourself, your skin wouldn't be able to breathe. And so we have to recognize that this planet has skin that needs to breathe. And so we need to create materials that can breathe so that the planet is not harmed by our development. Not only that, but my heart is always wrenched whenever I see construction, because you've probably seen this. They bring in all the equipment and they just rip down the trees. They rip down the shrubs. There's no honoring of nature. There's no recognition that this is life that you're damaging and destroying. Humans just feel like they can come in and they can wreck it all for their aims. And those are the practices that need to change. Also, fuel. So right now we're using fuel that damages Earth to keep warm and for transportation. So fossil fuel is really, to me, counterintuitive. So you're pulling it out of Mother Earth, and then you're burning it to pollute our environment. So it's just wrong on every level. And obviously we can do better. We're so intelligent. We are blessed with such wisdom, such intelligence. We can do such amazing things. We can create ways to live in harmony with this planet that don't cause any destruction. We've done it before. We can do it again. Also, I wrote a piece a couple of years ago. I don't mean to be repetitive, but it's about holidays. So the piece I wrote a couple of years ago was specifically about Christmas. Now, I love Christmas. I love getting together with family, having a beautiful meal. The feel of it is just magical. However, in that piece that I wrote, I had statistics about how much waste is created specifically from Christmas. So I'm not even talking about, Valentine's Day, St. Patrick's Day, July 4th, Thanksgiving, all these other holidays where we have a lot of packaging, we have a lot of food waste. And we also have things such as, all these decorations that we put up. So fake trees, plastic garlands, all these sorts of decorations, lights that die and we have to toss them. All that goes into Mother Gaia. And obviously she's not appreciating that too much. Again, so our holidays will be revolutionized, and we will have ceremonies and holidays that honor nature. So that is a huge part of this new age, that we will be living in complete harmony and reverence of nature, because we are nature. So we want to revere ourselves and one another and the planet that life depends upon. And so our ceremonies will be honoring the seasons, honoring the trees, honoring the rivers, honoring the lakes and oceans, honoring the rocks, honoring the mountains. If you look at indigenous people, that's what they were doing. Even when you look at the Neolithic, the lithic societies, so much of those, I was in England a short while ago, and I went to a number of stone circles there, which is a misnomer. They're not really circles. So maybe there is a stone circle, but those were really to honor the river that they were connected to. So it was in reverence to nature. It was in reverence to our ancestors, which is part of nature, and reverence to the seasons. And so those sorts of recognitions that we've gotten so far away from in most cultures will be revived, because that is what life is all about. It's about being in harmony with nature, being in harmony with one another, being at peace with ourselves, with our lives. And so we will be manifesting that in this new age. And so I am so excited, because I think right now we can do that on smaller scales. We can do that either with ourselves or with others of like-minded. If you have the choice to gather with either a small group or a large group to do these ceremonies and honor nature, then I would definitely recommend it. I do my own ceremonies seasonally and to honor full moons and things like that. And that's also part of New Age, is that there will be larger gatherings of people coming together to celebrate together, to connect together. And that, I don't know if that will happen during my life, but I certainly want to go if I can, because that sounds pretty fun. So again, going back to our role and the responsibility that we each play is, how do you want to manifest this new age? What do you want to be right now? You're hearing my voice. You might see my face. What do you think? What are you right now? Are you love? Are you fear? Are you anxiety? Because any of those fear, anxiety, any kind of stress, that basically blocks love. That blocks happiness. You can't be truly happy if you're fearful. And you can see in our society that fear has been consciously built, also unconsciously built, but certainly consciously built, because you can see that through the news media, that that's a great way to get people's attention. Oh my gosh, this thing's going to hit Earth any second. Everyone should be afraid, you know? And so they consciously foster fear because it's a way to control people. There's this horrible disease coming. It's going to be so bad. You better be careful, and you better buy these things, or else you might die. And so we want to notice those things. So use a critical eye. Maybe you need to be aware of these things. Maybe you don't want to die, and you want to say, maybe I want to pay attention to that. But that doesn't mean you need to live in fear. So love is something to be stubborn about. Love is something, it doesn't matter if everyone dislikes you, if people are mean to you, if people say critical things about you, maybe a whole group is turning against you. Okay, that happens. It could be your family, it could be people you call friends, it could be strangers. But still, that if you are love, and you are, so hold on to that. And don't let it be shaken by others' dislike of you, by others saying mean things about you, by a feeling that you don't fit in. Well, I don't know where I fit. You are love. When you are love, you fit everywhere because you fit in yourself. And that's what we each need to hold to stubbornly, with stalwart effort. Don't let that go, that you are love each moment, because what else are you going to be? What else do you choose to be? And what else do you choose to put out in the world and create for the rest of us to share? The world needs your love. The world needs your light and the beautiful energy that you possess. So share it widely and wildly. And don't be inhibited by others' criticism. You'll always find a critic. You'll always find somebody who will cut you down, put you down, take you down, or want to take you down, but you won't be taken down because you are going to hold to that strong place of love. And that brings us into our third section, which is how to start each day holding on to and reminding myself of this place of love, because we can be distracted by worries and concerns and situations. And so our attention goes elsewhere, right? I'm thinking about this. Oh, what about that person said that to me? That really hurt my feelings. And I know I can obsess on these sorts of things. So I'm sure you can too. And so the way to change that is to have a system every morning where you start your day with a series of affirmations. And these affirmations aren't just words, but you actually visualize them. So I'm going to write these up and share them with everyone in a subsequent posting on this site. But I just wanted to go over some of the basics. So I choose to live a life I love. And so if you say that, and you really say that in a way that you mean it, that means that right now and every other minute, you love your life. So I love my life. I love the sunshine. I love the plants and the trees and the other people. And I even love those who are not nice to me, because I am love. I can't not love. I'm always loving. I am love. And the second affirmation is, I choose to be the predominant creator of my reality. And so if you really reflect on that, you'll see that what's up in our minds, what we're thinking, creates this reality. I'm less than, I'm powerlessness, I'm a victim, I'm sad, I'm all these other things. If that's what you believe, then that's creating your reality. But if you're the predominant creator, then you say, I'm creative, I'm abundant, I am beauty, I am light, I am joy. So this is another very powerful affirmation. Another good affirmation to start your day is, I choose to live as my authentic self, fulfilling my purpose and mission. Now you can change these words. If these don't resonate for you, I change them every day just to be creative, because we're creators. That's what we do. And so again, it's, what do you choose? Do you want to live according to other people's rules and regulations, or do you want to live as who you are? Oh, it might take a little courage. You might need to stand up to the man. You might need to, go against the current. But are you going to be happy if you are not your true self? No, of course not. You will never be happy trying to fill a role that's not you. So you want to live as your authentic self. And there are other affirmations that I will share with you. I think these are the most absolutely important affirmations. Now, when I talk about anything to do every morning to start your day, which I'm going to talk about more next week, I always get the same excuse. And when I say always, I mean 100% of the time. I have never mentioned these to anyone who said, I'm going to start that tomorrow. I always get, oh, I really want to meditate, but I just don't have time. I really would love to do that, but I just don't have time. Everybody says the same thing. But you know what? You have time if you make it. You have time if it's important to you. You have time if you're resolute and want to do this for you. Because you can't bring your light to the world if you don't hold the light steady for yourself. And you can't bring joy to the world if you're not happy. You can't share love in the world if you're not love. And so being resolute to do this every single day gives you a start to who you are each day. And it sets the pattern of your day. I'm not going to be a victim. I'm going to live this day as my authentic self. And if other people don't like that, too bad, right? Too bad for them, because they're missing out on this wonderful person, i.e. me. So living as your authentic self is essential. You might see it as taking courage, you need courage for that. Well, okay, a little courage is a great thing. So then step up to the plate and do it. Go ahead and do it. But I'm encouraging you now to use these affirmations on a daily basis to take care of yourself and start your day right by affirming your sovereignty, affirming your power, affirming your authenticity, affirming and supporting your love. If you don't do it, and so I've noticed something with myself. So if something's on my mind, I'll notice my energy's out here thinking about something. And when I go back to these affirmations, I feel it. My energy goes right back to that core of me. I can't, if that sounds selfish, what am I going to give to the world if I don't have me to give, right? I've got to take care of me first, and then I can give to others. So as I mentioned, next week will be the course on the mind. Okay, but we're going to talk about, creative, fun training vigilance, just checking out what's going on in there, what's happening and rolling around up in there. Taking a look at there, and also sharing some techniques to keep your mind clear and keep you in charge of your mind, not vice versa, not thoughts and external stuff in charge. We want you to be in charge. So if you want to find out about anything that I do, you can go to my website, maryruberry.com. I present wellness seminars, and I also do one-on-one mentoring. I am a certified life coach, and I can do either a reading with you if you'd want a soul path reading, or I also could do a coaching session with you, but I emphasize the one-on-one mentoring, which is a selection of 6 coaching sessions, because if you really want to change a pattern, one session probably isn't going to do the trick. It's probably not going to be sufficient. And so you want more. And I'm here to give you more. Now, all the courses I'm offering through this website are absolutely free. I would love to hear some of your feedback, your thoughts, suggestions. I've mentioned doing live channeling, which I look forward to doing. I most enjoy channeling Lord Maitreya because it's such high love. It's so moving and beautiful. And the world can always use more high energy, love, and beauty. So, but I'd love to hear what you would love to hear more about. So thank you so much for joining. And I look forward to hearing from you, and check me out next week. The topic is the mind. Have a great week. Don't forget your affirmations.